Scarlet and Violet introduced a ton of new Pokemon, and you want to know how good they are. Luckily for you, I'm a former Pokemon World Champion with over 12 years of playing competitively. And for some reason, I thought that it would be fun to go through every single new Pokemon and figure out exactly how good it is. I'm going to be grading the final evolutions for each new Pokemon on a scale from S to F. And I'll be going in Pokedex order unless I make mistakes, which, let's be honest, is pretty likely. I'm also only grading legal competitive Pokemon, so no Ruin Mons, Legendaries, or Paradox Pokemon. I'm going to make a separate video talking about them. Anyway, without further ado, here's how good every new Pokemon is, starting with Meowscarada. This starter's final form is a bit of a glass cannon, being quick, strong, and frail. Its greatest selling point is its signature move, Flower Trick, which never misses and always lands a critical hit. This is a big deal because a lot of the ways that people stop strong physical attacks are Intimidate and Reflect, and critical hits ignore both. It's true that Meowscarada's hidden ability, Protean, was nerfed going into Scarlet and Violet, but it's still a good ability. And also, Meowscarada uses its other ability, Overgrow, pretty well. It honestly has a lot going for it, so I'm giving it a grade of A. Skeledirge is a bulky Pokemon that's made even stronger by its defensive typing. Its signature move, Torch Song, would be its greatest strength if it weren't for its terrible speed stat. Torch Song is a 70 base power move that raises the user's special attack by 1 stage every single time it connects. On top of that, Skeledirge's hidden ability, Unaware, is in a really good place right now. Unaware ignores your opponent's stat changes, which is a pretty big deal because Dondozo and Tatsugiri are kinda everywhere. Right now, Skeledirge is playing more of a bulky, disruptive role using Will-O-Wisp and Slack Off to mess up your team, while building up its own boosts over time with Torch Song and a good defensive Terra type. It's definitely a little bit vulnerable because it is so slow, but it has enough going for it that I feel confident that it belongs in the A tier. Quaquaval has fair and well-balanced stats surrounding a really good attack stat. It's a little slower than you'd normally like, but it can fix that because its signature attack, Aqua Step, is an 80 base power move that raises its speed by 1 every single time it connects. A Pokemon being able to do good damage and raise its speed at the same time is already good, but there's more. Quaquaval's hidden ability is Moxie, which means every time it gets a KO, it also gets an attack boost. If you take a KO with Aqua Step, you get both a speed and an attack boost in the same turn. Of course, this requires a bit of setup because there's a lot of fast and strong Pokemon that can do a ton of damage to Quaquaval before it can get going. If it takes a big hit before it gets set up, it turns from a dancing duck into a sitting duck. Please subscribe. I like Quaquaval a lot and I think it has a ton of potential, but right now I think the most fair grade I can give it is B. Next up is Oinkologne. It's worth noting that Oinkologne has different base stats depending on which gender you're using, but for the purposes of this list, I didn't really feel like it was worth separating out because they're going to get the same grade anyway. Oinkologne's HP and attack stat are okay, but the rest of the stats, including speed, are really bad, and the Met typing, poor ability, and questionable move pool means that I have to put Oinkologne in D. Dudunsparce finally got an evolution, and it's so new, it's so off the wall, it's so avant-garde, it's basically just Dudunsparce again. But this time it might actually be good. Its attack stat is pretty low, but its defenses, move pool, and ability are actually really good. They also gave it a super broken signature move called Hyper Drill, which is 100 base power, never misses, and not only hits through Protect, but actually shatters it. This move already does a bunch of damage on its own, but you can also combo it with a slower partner to really pick off your opponent's vulnerable Pokemon. Now, nobody's really using Dudunsparce yet, but I think it has a lot of potential, so I'm putting it in the B tier. I just want to take a moment and ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. Currently, only 12% of my viewers are subscribed, and I think that it's mutually beneficial because I'm putting out a lot of good content around getting better at Pokemon, and presumably that's something that you care about. Or maybe you just like watching these videos because they're entertaining. Regardless, I'm really trying to hit 1 million subscribers, and I could really use your help in doing so. Also, thanks for watching the video. It really means a lot. Spidops. What can I even say about this one? It's just an all-around horrible Pokemon. It has the single worst typing in the game and also bad stats, a bad ability, and a bad move pool. Spidops goes in the F tier. Lokix, on the other hand, is a bug type that actually has potential, maybe because it's part dark. Its stats are usable, but where it really shines is its hidden ability, Tinted Lens. This allows it to do neutral damage whenever it hits a Pokemon for not very effective damage. And this is a big deal because the bug type is great at hitting things for not very effective damage. Unfortunately, because of its mediocre stats, I can't justify putting Lokix any higher than the C tier. Okay, next up is another bug, but I actually really like this one. Rabsca is a bug and psychic type that is actually really bulky, which allows it to set Trick Room up consistently. Its abilities are okay, but it does have a surprisingly high special attack stat, which complements its nice defenses. The reason that I like it so much, though, has nothing to do with that, and everything to do with the fact that it actually learns Revival Blessing, the single most broken new move that they added that allows you to bring back a fainted Pokemon with half HP to the battle. At the end of the day, though, Rabsca still leaves a lot to be desired. I'm gonna give it a grade of B, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it doing well. Houndstone is a Pokemon I really wanted to be amazing. It has great abilities and pretty good stats, but it is really held back by its move pool. Before you type an angry comment about how good Last Respects is, I know, but you can only bring 4 Pokemon to a battle in competitive Pokemon, so it's just not that powerful and it's pretty inconsistent. I'm giving Houndstone a grade of B. It's good, but it's unlikely to really carry your team. Espathra also has a really limited move pool, but its signature move is so good that you kind of don't really need that much else. With Lumina Crash, you're not only hitting your opponent with a respectable 80 base power move, but you're also lowering their special defense stat by 2 stages every time you connect. Pair this with a naturally high speed stat and 2 really good abilities, and you've got a Pokemon that can function as either a sweeper or a support Pokemon. I'm giving Espathra a grade of A. Farigiraf might not have that much offensive presence, but it's a really reliable Trick Room setter thanks to its natural bulk, good defensive typing, and ability Armor Tail, which blocks all priority moves, including powerful ones like Fake Out and Extreme Speed. I don't think Farigiraf is going to be super dominant, but I think it will see a fair bit of play. I'm putting it in the B tier. Wugtrio, F. Bad, 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 all 3 of them. Stats, abilities, signature move, it's all bad. Let's just move on. Dondozo. Now this I can get behind or maybe inside. Ugh. Not only is Dondozo a powerhouse, it's also a really cool way to design a Pokemon. When paired with Tatsugiri, which we'll get to later, Dondozo gets a +2 boost in every single stat. As if that weren't enough, it also gets access to 3 really good abilities that it can use to protect itself from various threats. And to top it all off, its signature attack, Order Up, is a customizable move that gives it either an attack, defense, or speed boost, depending on which Tatsugiri form it has in its mouth. That might sound a little strange if you haven't seen Dondozo and Tatsugiri yet, but just trust me, this thing is basically Exodia. Dondozo goes in the S tier. Veluza is weird because in the overworld, whenever you're trying to get away from it, it feels like this thing moves at like 100 miles per hour. But in battle, you'll see that it's actually pretty slow. I guess its signature move, Fillet Away, is intended to make up for this since it does give you a +2 boost in attack, special attack, and speed, but you have to give up half your health to get it. Given that this thing does not have the best defenses, it's very likely to get knocked out before you can even take advantage of it. I'm giving it a grade of C. Like Dondozo, Palafin is equal parts creatively designed and utterly broken. It might not seem like much at first glance, but if you can activate its ability, you can absolutely obliterate your opponent. To do this, you have to switch out Palafin and then later bring it back in, and you hopefully won't take too much damage in the process. If you can pull it off, Palafin's ability 0 to Hero will activate, which gives it way better stats. Pair this with Palafin's super wide move pool, including a really good signature attack, and you'll see exactly why this thing is called the Hero. I'm giving Palafin a grade of S. Next one's a bit of a hot take, but I am a big believer in Arboliva. Great ability, great special attack stat, good bulk, good move pool. Basically, its only real weakness is its really low speed stat, which can be alleviated with Trick Room. I'm giving Arboliva a grade of A. I was very prepared to put Scovillain in the D or the F tier, but I have changed my mind. It's the first fire-type Pokemon ever to get access to Chlorophyll, and it has a pretty good move pool, including Rage Powder as well. I think it's going to be pretty difficult to use, but I think it has potential. I'm giving it a grade of B. Look, I know we all love Bellibolt, but the truth is, besides its ability, this Pokemon does not have a lot going for it. It does have decent stats, but its offenses and speed stat just really leave a lot to be desired. The real nail in the coffin is its move pool. It just doesn't have good tools to deal with grass or ground types. Straight to the C tier. Revavroom is really cool. It has 2 great abilities, excellent defensive typing, and although its move pool lacks some coverage moves, it does have really strong steel and poison moves. That being said, against the types that it's bad against, it doesn't really have any options. I would say it's not amazing, but overall it's solid and relatively well balanced. B tier. Orthworm. Orthworm's ability is downright incredible, allowing it to not only become immune to ground type attacks, but also heal a quarter of its health every time it's hit by one. Being a steel type already makes you bulky enough with only 3 weaknesses, and now one of those weaknesses actually heals you? With its good defensive typing and an ability that can heal it, Orthworm is a great user of Shed Tail, which trades half of its HP in exchange for passing a substitute to a teammate waiting in the wings. Orthworm has a great defense stat, but the rest of its stats are pretty lackluster, and its move pool is not great. I was gonna put it in the C tier, but I recently built a team with it, and I was really impressed by it, so I'm gonna put it in the B tier instead. I love Maushold. This thing is great. It has a super powerful attack called Population Bomb, which can hit up to 10 times and will KO pretty much everything in the format unless they resist normal. It's not a one-trick pony either. It has two really good abilities it can use, one that's better for offense and one that's better for defense, as well as the move Follow Me, which is just one of the best supporting moves in the entire game. Maushold gets an easy grade of S. I think Cetitan is super strong. It has two good abilities, Slush Rush and Thick Fat, as well as some of the best stats of any new Pokemon introduced. Couple that with a deep move pool and Ice's strong offensive relationships, and you've got yourself an A tier Pokemon. Baxcalibur is actually super underrated. Its stats, ability, move pool, and signature attack are all very good, and I think it's only a matter of time until people realize just how powerful this Pokemon can be. Its typing is a little lackluster, but hey, that makes it a great target for terastallization. Honestly, I'm shocked this Pokemon isn't used more already. I'm putting it in the S tier. Cyclizar is a bit of a disappointment because it's clearly the present day version of the two box art legendaries. You would think that it would be more powerful or evolve into something stronger, but no, it just stays a little guy. Besides speed, its stats leave a lot to be desired, and its move pool is relatively shallow. I say relatively because it does get access to the attack Shed Tail, which pairs very well with its ability Regenerator. You already understand that Shed Tail gives up half your HP in exchange for passing a substitute to a teammate. The thing is, whenever Cyclizar switches out, Regenerator will heal it for 33%. In other words, the combo of Shed Tail and Regenerator means you only have to pay about 16% to pass a substitute to your teammate. It's too bad that the rest of Cyclizar's stats are so bad because this is a really cool combo. I'm giving Cyclizar a grade of C. Pawmot is kind of like Cyclizar in the sense that its speed is kind of its only good stat. It does get access to the move Revival Blessing though, which as we mentioned is very powerful. It also has a different signature attack, but I think it's kind of mid. I feel like a grade of C is fair. Kilowattrel has seen some play for being a fast Tailwind setter, but it's a little bit too frail for a Pokemon that just doesn't hit that hard. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad Pokemon, but most of the time it feels like it's probably not going to be able to do the damage that it wants to. It does have competitive, which can be useful if your opponent lowers your stats, but with Intimidate being so much less popular, this is not as big a deal now as it would have been in Generation 8 or before. It's not an amazing Pokemon, but Fast Tailwind is so strong that I feel like I have to give this thing a grade of B. Bombirdier. Is the thing that it holds in its mouth part of its body? I don't get it. It has bad stats, a mediocre ability, and overall just not a great move pool. D tier. Squawkability. Just why? Because they gave it access to Intimidate, I'm giving this a grade of D, but without it, it would have easily been in the F tier. Flamigo, on the other hand, is finally a really strong bird Pokemon. Sure, at first glance, it's, just a flamingo, but if you look closer, yeah, no, it's literally just a flamingo. But it's a strong flamingo. If you can find a way to take advantage of its hidden ability Co-Star, you will find one of the strongest new Pokemon introduced in this generation. With Co-Star, Flamigo can copy its ally stat changes when it switches in. It already has a decent attack stat and great offensive typing, so if you bring it in next to a Dondozo or a Pokemon that's set up with Belly Drum or Swords Dance, your opponent's going to start sweating. I actually built a team around this exact strategy, which you can check out for yourself. I'm giving Flamigo a grade of A. Cloth, my child. I'm sorry to break it to you, but Cloth is just not very good. But it is cute. But it's not very good. I like its ability, but everything else is just very underwhelming. The pure rock typing is kind of the nail in the coffin. I'm sorry, it's going in the C tier, and I think that's actually being generous. Garganacl is the Pokemon that Cloth wanted to be. It's a pure rock type that can actually back up its weaknesses with a great move pool, unbelievable stats, and a good signature ability. Plus, it has a really unique signature attack that is very powerful if you end up out of position. If you play recklessly against Garganacl, you might find yourself completely unable to deal with it. And it has two really good Terra types to help make it even harder to hit. Garganacl gets an A from me. Glimmora has a really cool signature ability that scatters poison spikes across the opponent's field whenever it takes a hit, but one ground attack and it'll be easily knocked out. Obviously, you can terastallize it to get around that, but you might not want to do this every battle. I will say its special attack and move pool are spectacular, so I could easily see this thing being good. Glimmora is going in the B tier. Grafaiai would be a whole lot better if it weren't for its poor defenses. Having Prankster as an ability and access to some great supporting moves like Super Fang, Encore, and Parting Shot would normally be a really big deal. But the truth is, it can't last on the field long enough for you to make use of them. Grafaiai does have a really cool signature attack called Doodle, which overwrites both its own and its partner's abilities, but the thing is that this is probably more of a gimmick in most cases. Like, yes, it pairs well with Slaking, but other than that, I think it's inconsistent. I think Grafaiai belongs in the C tier. Sadly, the only things going for Darkspun are its ability, which admittedly is very good, and the fact that it looks like it would taste delicious. The real problem is just it doesn't have any way of exerting pressure when it's on the field. As a Pokemon, I'm giving it a grade of D. As a food though, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably in the S tier. Maushold really benefits from being a pure dark type. It's just a really solid type all on its own, especially right now. All three of its abilities are pretty good as well. Same with its move pool and its stats. It is a really well-rounded Pokemon, but I will say that it doesn't have anything that really makes it exceptional. I'm giving Maushold a grade of B. Brambleghast has some stuff going for it. Ghost and Grass are both valuable types. Its ability Wind Rider not only makes it immune to wind type moves, but also gives it an attack boost and gives it the attack boost if Tailwind goes up. Brambleghast does have a decent attack stat, so I'm sure there's a Tailwind user that would pair really well with it. The problem is its stats kinda stink. Brambleghast goes in the C tier. Goldengo is pure gold, both literally and competitively. It has unbelievably good typing, a bonker special attack, a really good signature ability, and its signature move is straight up broken. There's a real case that Goldengo is the strongest Pokemon added in Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, it's getting a grade of S. Speaking of Pokemon with good typing, Tinkaton brings back the single best type combination in the game, Fairy and Steel. This typing was previously notable on Zacian, who had a complete stranglehold on the last Sword and Shield metagame. Thankfully, Tinkaton doesn't hold a torch to Zacian thanks to its poor stats, which I'm okay with personally. It's still viable because of its typing alone, but it also has some pretty good moves in Fake Out and its signature attack Gigaton Hammer. This is a 160 base power steel type attack that can't be used in succession, which honestly is a very reasonable drawback given again that this is 160 base power. Tinkaton gets a grade of A. Armarouge has pretty decent typing, but it's really its ability, stats, and move pool that allow it to shine. Its signature attack, Armor Cannon, is a really powerful fire type attack. And it also has like another kind of signature attack in Expanding Force in that it's not technically a signature attack, but it's the only Pokemon currently in Scarlet and Violet to learn it. So yeah. Both these moves are really powerful offensive tools, but it also gets Wide Guard and Trick Room for team support. The only thing holding it back is that it gets outsped by most of the format's heavy hitters. Because of that, I'm giving it a conservative grade of A. I really like Ceruledge. It has 3 immunities thanks to its typing and its ability. Its signature move, Bitter Blade, is really good and helps keep Ceruledge alive. And it also has good attacks like Close Combat and Shadow Sneak, as well as good boosting moves like Bulk Up. Because it already has 3 immunities and a pretty good defensive type, it also is a great user of Terrestrialization. Like Armarouge, the main thing holding it back is that it's not faster. I'm also giving it a grade of A. Toadscroll's ability, on the other hand, holds it back so much. If it had literally no ability, I would put it in the B tier. But Mycelium Might makes it so that it cannot reliably use Spore despite how naturally fast it is. I want to put it in D because it makes me so mad, but it gets both Rage Powder and Trick Room, so I'm gonna put it in C instead. Now, Clodsire was the MVP of my playthrough, but unfortunately, competitively, it's not that good. It does have cool typing and a couple really good abilities, but it just has such bad offensive stats that it's really difficult to contribute to the battle. I have to put it in the D tier. Kingambit, on the other hand, is totally broken. Stupidly good stats, amazing typing, a good signature move, 2 good abilities. It literally has it all. Kingambit gets an easy grade of S. So Tatsugiri is weird because it kind of needs Dondozo to be great. On its own, it's a C. Passable, but I'd never use it. However, send it out next to Dondozo and you can activate its ability, Commander. This allows Tatsugiri to hop into Dondozo's mouth and become invulnerable to all attacks. Though Tatsugiri can't attack either, Dondozo does more than enough to make up for it. A Tatsugiri that's inside of a Dondozo is an S tier Pokemon. I actually forgot Paldean Tauros, so I'm just going to throw it in here. They have decent stats and a cool signature move, but they're not the most flexible Pokemon. They're certainly not bad, but until I see somebody really do something cool with them, I can't put them any higher. Our final Pokemon is yet another outstanding Ghost type, Annihilate. Simply put, this thing is incredible. Its stats, sublime. Its move pool, tremendous. Its ability, prodigious. I am running out of synonyms. Annihilate gets an S. A truly perfect Pokemon. And that's everything. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my grading. I really love this generation's new Pokemon, and I'm so excited to try to use them to their full potential. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.